Hi there, I'm MacDonald of Balance Yoga. This video is going to take you through a yoga sequence to stretch your hamstrings and your inner and outer thighs. There's a number of ways you can stretch your hamstrings. You could, for example, be in a seated position and come into a forward bend. However, sometimes there's potential for the stretch in this forward bend to move out of the targeted area of the hamstrings by rounding into the back a little bit more. So today we're going to do this sequence from a lying down position, and that's going to really help us target the stretch right into the hamstrings where we want to work. You're going to need a strap, unless you've got very long hamstrings. So find something, a strap or similar, that you can use. Lie yourself down with your knees bent up. We'll start by stretching with the right leg. So take your right foot up into the air, take the strap around the ball of the foot, and then straighten the leg out. Now, depending on how much movement you've got through your hamstrings, how much length, your leg may be lower down or more towards your face. You need to come to a position where you've got a good moderate stretch going down the back of the leg. Not so far as you feel the body seize up and resist against you, but somewhere you can work to breathe length into the muscle. So set yourself up here with this knee bend to start with. Find your moderate stretch, and then slowly lift the head and shoulders just off the floor up towards the knee a little bit, beginning to come into a bit of a crunch. It's not so much about coming up really high, but just being here and enabling the back muscles to relax and broaden into the mat. And when you're here, then slowly lengthen out your left leg. Keep it long down the mat, push out through the heel, keep this leg active. And slowly take the head and shoulders back down to the floor. You may notice that increases the stretch down the hamstring a little bit. Also, a little bit of an opening through the front hip flexor on the left side. So once you're here, give yourself a few more long, slow breaths. And as the muscles slowly lengthen out, you can just take it subtly a little bit further into the stretch, keeping at a good moderate level. Next, we adjust this a little bit by taking the foot across the centre line of the body, over to the left a little bit. Not too far, not past your shoulder. What we want to do is just take the stretch more into the outer hamstring, so it's a subtle change, and work here for about 5 breaths. Pay attention with each breath as you slowly feel the body get to a good moderate stretch and slowly lengthen out just a little more. After about 5 breaths, another small adjustment, taking the foot across back to the right and just out a little bit, no further than the edge of your mat. And we're just looking to shift this into the inner hamstring muscle a little bit. So notice the subtle differences and stay with the long breath, easing out 1 breath at a time, a little bit more length. Give yourself a couple more breaths. Now, making sure that you have got your strap in your right hand, both ends of the strap, put your left hand onto your hip, and the hand on the hip here is for guiding, holding the hip in place. We're going to drop the right leg out towards the floor. And once you get so far as you feel your left hip rolling up, so the hand is moving up, stop there with the stretch. Press out through the inner line of the heel. And we're looking for a stretch into the inner thigh. The further you take your foot up towards your face, the more intense the stretch will become. Same for dropping it down towards the floor. So just find where you need to be to feel a good stretch come on, and be here with the breath. Slowly inhale the leg back up to the centre, straight up over the body. Probably want to take the strap into the left hand here, and the leg's going to continue travelling across the body. Probably roll up onto the left hip a little bit. Press out through the heel, taking that across until you feel something down the outside of the leg here. So just working into the right place for you, and trying to keep this right shoulder working down towards the floor, twisting through and finding a stretch in the outside of the leg. Again, be here and breathe. Keep both legs active. 2 more breaths. Then take the leg back up to the centre, nicely stretched out. Release the strap off the foot and lengthen both your legs along your mat. Press out through both heels and see if you feel any longer through the right side at all. Next, it's time to balance up that left side. So again, bend the right knee in, left knee in, take the strap around the left foot, ball of the foot, and up to that good moderate stretch. Feel a stretch come on. Press towards that edge without going so far as the body will get into the stretch reflex and seize up and stop you moving, which just becomes counterproductive. So settle yourself in there. And then slowly take the head and shoulders off the floor. A little bit of a crunch. Feel the muscles down the back broaden and flatten into the floor. And then lengthen that right leg down the mat. Press through the heel. A little bit more stretch comes on through the back of the left leg. Taking the head and shoulders back down. And breathing here. So in this position, there's no strain on the back. Back relaxed into the floor. We're not taking the stretch out of the hamstring by rounding into the back. An excellent way to really target where we want to work to in the hamstring. Then we're going to take this left foot over the centre line of the body to the right, just a little bit, not past the shoulder. Should feel a subtle change. Keep breathing nice and long. And slowly shifting the leg over to the left, just about to the shoulder or just past the shoulder line, not past the edge of the mat, still working in the hamstring, and breathing here. So another advantage of being on the mat here is that this is a really good pose for anyone who has disc issues, any herniated discs in the lower back where you've got to be mindful about not rounding, not stressing out those discs anymore. Excellent option here. Then making sure that you have got your strap in your left hand. The right hand is going to hold the right hip in place as you allow that left leg to extend out towards the floor on the left. Again, we're looking for inner thigh stretch here, so find where that happens for you and be here with the breath. Make sure that your face is still soft and this breath is still soft and long, and that this right leg is still active, toes up to the ceiling. Press through the heel. Feeling that stretch through there. 2 more breaths. And then slowly draw the leg back up to the top. Take the strap into the right hand. Continue the leg travelling across the body and out. Just stop where you need to when you feel you've got enough of a stretch in the outer hip. Keep the legs, both legs active. You can roll over to the right hip a little bit. Try and keep this left shoulder working towards the floor and be here and breathe. Long, soft breaths. Pay attention to the sensations through the legs and hip. And give yourself 2 more good long breaths here. Slowly, take a little bit of a bend if you like, or keeping it straight, come back up to the centre, release off the strap, and stretch out that left leg. Push through the heels and compare now. Hopefully both legs feel the same length, which is a little bit longer than a few moments ago. And then when you're ready, moving on, coming back up to sit. And we're done. So if you ever need a really good way to target those hamstrings or just take it easy in the stretching there, come to this sequence and hopefully you'll get some good results. Thanks very much for watching. Have a good day.